and welcome to Twice Rolled Tales, another production of Chicago Fae. Hopefully this is not your first Chicago Fae session. There are a couple more. Go watch those first and then come back here. If you are joining us after seeing all of those, welcome back. We left our heroes having encountered some rather dangerous characters and realizing there is way more going on at the 1893 Chicago's World Fair than they immediately thought. They now have to figure out how to get out of this situation and hopefully make the choices that help and hurt the least and most amount of people possible. I'm Linnie. I will be your keeper for the evening, but if everyone will go around and tell me who they are and briefly what's happened to your characters since we last encountered them.
Well, I'm Phoebe, and once again I am playing Spitz, a just little gross street urchin who keeps finding themselves at the center of fairy-related shenanigans, the bad fairy type, although as far as they're concerned, they're all just some variety of wizards. And has apparently become the focus of a very particularly well-known evil wizard by the name of Mr. Park. So, try to not get kidnapped, I guess.
I'm Shawn. I'm playing Phineas B. Wheel, a factory inspector who came here attempting to stop a fire from happening and is currently wanted by Chicago PD in connection with arson. So things have not gone great for Phineas. But he's turning it around. We're talking to a Mr. Prendergast, who may or may not be able to clear his name, trending towards may not. But that's where the story has left us so far.
Amazing. Once again, I'm Emily. I'm playing Marion Mudd, a journalist new to the city of Chicago, hired by Mr. Prendergast to help bring Mayor Harrison down. Her eyes were recently opened to the wide world of the Fae after realizing that Mr. Prendergast was one of them. And so in collaboration with her fellow adventurers, trying to figure out a way to both help the Fae people as well as to bring down some corrupt systems of governance.
Hi, I'm Ken. I'm playing Maura Brady, the local witch / fortune teller. At the moment, she's with Mr. Prendergast, with the rest of them, sort of realizing that this is much bigger than she would like it to be, and currently dreading her upcoming 11 o'clock appointment with Mr. Park back at her shop.
Can I just ask where this extra R in Pendergast is coming from?
Is that not his name?
No, it's Prendergast.
Okay.
There's two R's.
Really?
Prender Gast. Prendergast. Also, it's Mr. Parks with an S.
Parks.
Okay.
An S. Prendergast, 2 R's. Parks, 1 R, and an S.
And an S.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay. And right now it's Prendy and the gang in his office.
Indeed.
What were we talking about? What was the last thing that happened?
Oh, this thing.
Yes.
Yes, guys, I figured it out. It being the thing that these old women, you saw the old women.
Yeah, they gave you a
gave to
children's
me.
toy.
Yeah.
Can I play with it?
I think it's neat. Well,
It doesn't mean
Spitz, I
that
would love to give it to you,
derogatorily.
but that would prove the point of it being a children's toy. And
Yeah, that's why I won't play with it.
Prendergast
it's a
says...
sophisticated animation technique, actually.
What is
Pioneered
animation?
at the Chicago World's Fair. Did you even go to the fair?
Did you?
Sorry, no,
You just got here.
Prendergast says, so, Mr. Parks, bad deal, but we should stay out of his way and do what he says, because, sometimes the ends justify the means, and then you also don't die. It's great.
But sometimes other people die, though. And we don't want that to happen.
Counterpoint. Yes.
And the means in this case, just to be clear, is the World's Fair burning to the ground?
Yes. That does seem to be his plan.
And the ends that those means justify being Mr. Park's free domain of the city?
I think that enough people have been trapped, hurt, and their homes destroyed. And by people, I mean members of the Fae community that have seemed to be deliberately targeted by Mr. Harrison, the mayor, and everyone who's kind of helped him. I have not been invited in on Mr. Parks' plans. I have been quite firmly told that I'm not helping and I should stop. That's why I'm doing my part in the human world, where at least people don't hate me.
Right.
So I've been letter writing campaign, earnest efforts to make Mr. Harrison see his effects upon the community, which he duly knows, and is now apparently ignoring and deliberately continuing the efforts.
Question.
Yeah.
Did you make these promises on Mr. Harrison's behalf with his knowledge and consent?
I think it's more of a he said, I'll do this, and I told everyone, I think that's true.
But under no circumstances were his deals official.
No, he, in retrospect, was very careful.
Interesting.
Yes. He's very good at
He hoodwinked you.
Well, he's a politician, I mean.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Got bamboozled.
There's a reason I've been excommunicated from my community, yes.
Mr. Prendergast, I think we're all on the same page here that something needs to be done about Mr. Harrison. I think we all understand that he is corrupt and he should not be allowed to continue oppressing your community the way that he is. I think what we don't agree about is that Mr. Park is about to go about this in a way that would put the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in risk. I don't disagree with what he is thinking to do, but we have to figure out a way to keep those people safe in the process. They're not responsible for this. Mr. Harrison and the systems he represents are. The people just visiting the fair, it's not their battle. It's not their fight. They don't know what they've walked into.
Been trying to tell them. Railroad safety should be a concern of every citizen.
To be fair to everyone else at the fair, Mr. Prendergast, I don't think they necessarily care when there's so much else to see.
Well,
with all due respect, sir.
Kind of on them, right?
I'm just saying, if you're trying
to made that choice.
If you're trying to rally people against a mayor who is corrupt, railroad safety is not the way to go about it. I'm sorry.
Need something juicy.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the headlines. You
Miss
should
Mudd?
know that best of all.
Miss Mudd, may come to your attention that I hired you.
Yes, and respectfully, sir, I'm giving you my professional opinion of how to go best about convincing people of your aims.
If it's not the railroad, I don't know what is. That's my thing. My thing is the railroad.
Right.
But if we can find something else, also great. Also great.
We can certainly start digging for dirt.
Incredible. Can we dig quickly? Yes, quickly.
Sure.
We're gonna need some shovels.
Shovels? Do we need shovels? I can get shovels.
I have shovels, it's fine.
Pendergast does see you playing with this toy, and he says, did you get that from somewhere? Like, where did...
Yes, at the fair. Some elderly women gave it to me.
Were they knitters, two of them? One kind of a little involved, the other one...
Precisely, yeah.
Well, I'd listen to that, whatever it is.
It's a Firebird.
Firebird.
If the implication is that
Bird's
the
on
Fae
fire.
world is going to rise from the ashes of the Chicago World's Fair, I can't say I'm super excited about the literal interpretation of that.
It does seem like the folks we're talking to deal pretty literally. Is that not so?
What did
Why
they
a
say
bird?
to you when they gave it to you?
I was very nervous at the time this happens to me. They used my name, and as you might appreciate, my name is kind of a scary thing to be used right now, so I didn't hear many of the other words. But they did say they had been giving them out at the fair.
Well,
Can I make a knowledge check to see if I remember?
yeah,
Ken does
absolutely.
not remember.
Yeah, let's see. We're gonna see how well Linnie remembers. Exactly.
I make it. An intelligence check, I make it.
Okay, intelligence check.
Can I roll education? I feel like there's something about the Phoenix and just like the history of Chicago.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
could be wrong.
Roll an education for me.
Cool.
I mean, you
make
think,
that.
yeah. Okay, so a couple of things. Pendergast says, I mean, let's just say that they both like to be helpful and cause shit. So it could be both. It could be neither. Just take it with a grain of salt, but also pay attention to whatever that was. It could be a bit more metaphorical or literal. Yep.
Can I ask you separately, how did you initially gain audience with Mr. Harrison? He seems like, especially now, a hard man to track down, but I assume at some point the two of you had conferences. How were you able to get so close to him in the first place?
He says, I mean, it was more of a... Mr. Harrison's very good at ingratiating himself with the community. I mean, it's what he's done with the labor unions. I mean, practically every group in Chicago.
Yet none of us have been able to speak to him.
Well, I mean, this would have been earlier in his career, right?
He
Not
did
as...
it to get your support.
Yeah, so
And now that
before now
is
he's
mayor,
yeah.
he's
I mean, he's
blown
been mayor
up.
5 times. This is a man who's been in politics for many, many years. I'm not as young as I look. Let's be clear. There are some benefits to my condition.
It does strike me that perhaps you could, in some sense, be right. If indeed Mr. Harrison had made good on his promises, perhaps there would have been a way for your community. I'm suspending a certain amount of disbelief here, and the rest of us to coexist peacefully. And it seems like the issue exists rather with Mr. Harrison's current will.
Well, it's more like that, and a couple of decades of institutional choices that have built up to be a monolith that is difficult to deconstruct.
But who better to peel back institutional choices than the mayor of Chicago himself?
You're not wrong. He's not doing it. And as this is happening, so you remember the last time Chicago had a Great Fire was, in fact, 20 years ago, which razed the city almost to the ground. And very bizarrely, like, it is noted in the history books how unlikely it was that Chicago was actually able to pick itself back up, and even 20 years later, deliver something as big as the World's Fair. You think, about that. And
How long is a mayoral term?
4 years?
Okay.
Ish.
5 times.
He was non-consecutively mayor, and I don't remember the exact dates, but he hadn't been in politics for that much, that much time before that. So not concurrent precisely, but around the same time.
Gotcha.
Your check is, so you kind of were thinking back, like, what were they talking about? And mostly it was Phineas trying not to have a conversation.
Very much so.
And mostly they were just, they said that this represented sort of a turning point, like a choice, that there was something there. And the sense that they were watching a bunch of people running around doing things and kind of sitting there with popcorn just a little bit. So this could be a clue both to kind of a general message, but like more specifically about what someone is doing. Like this, like they know so much more than what they're saying, and the fact they knew who you were means that they knew what you didn't know as well. So this is not just information you already know, but this is something that you have yet to figure out. This is a hint toward that. Emily, were you gonna?
Yeah, I'm just making a note here.
Great. So Pendergast says, yes, sure, the mayor is the main problem, but he's had sort of 20 years in office to make his problems multiply. So now it's sort of everything is the problem.
Yeah. I too have spent my life trying to fight for my community, and have also been told that, quote, I'm not helping, and to, quote, please stop. And it dawns on me that perhaps the quickest route to change is not through writing or boots on the ground effort or lobbying, or even at this point going through traditional legal routes. But if there was a way we could gain audience with Mr. Harrison, it strikes me that
I have personally tried breaking into his office and explaining this. The first time I tried, I was thrown out the door from security. The second time I came back, and the amount of anti-Fae traps that had been laid were quite extensive. Is he still not
Did you have
Getting
a
this?
wrench?
it's just it's kind of incredible at this point.
It really is. I mean, you weren't there last night. It just
I just
an incredible amount. Have you met Jimmy? He's like a horseman.
I mean, I think that's not quite the terminology. Yes, I haven't met him, but I know of him, sure.
He met Jimmy.
Ears and all.
Ears and all.
Is this Jimmy the horse outside or Jimmy the person inside?
Both.
That is not an answer.
It's an answer. He
so-
can transform between the two. I don't know how clear I have to make this.
That was not what I was expecting to hear, but all right.
So it seems like you have not fully bought into some of the realities of your situation.
The realities of my
Spitz
situation.
kind of pulls on Prendergast's sleeve and says, "He's a bit slow."
He just seems like he kind of gets it, though.
Mr. Prendergast, it does. I think we have common aims.
Yes.
And
so
that I do know. Not much else do I know at this point.
I think Pendergast is going to grab you by the shoulders and say, "Look, I am moderately sorry about this, but you see so clearly that this is honestly, it's just a tragedy. Does Phineas wear glasses?
Yeah.
They're gonna take your glasses off and then spit directly into your eyes. And as you like rub the spit out of your face, it is now the effects of the nickel with a hole in it, but just all the time now. You can't escape this. He says, "Now, see? Do you see now?"
I really wish I didn't. I categorically don't comment on other person's appearances, but do you intend to look like that? I'm sorry, I
Was this a
overstepped.
mistake? Because I don't know how to undo this.
I mean, I was gonna work on it, but this is fine. I think just bold-faced.
He can't ignore it now. It just
Correct.
seems like a man who faces the world, much like I faced. You know,
Can't
this was a mistake. Yes.
Are you all right?
No. Thank you for asking.
I'm learning, and you'll learn too. I'm sure it's a learning journey
He says,
for all of us.
I'm so sorry. Here, he just like passes you a handkerchief. It's okay. This is going to be fine in maybe 5 to 10 years. Here you go.
Because yeah. I'll do a little wipey wipe. He's still Patchwork Man.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna just do a quiet little sanity check on this side of the room. And
Did you big succeed or did you big
98.
That's
fail?
a 98.
Honestly, technically, you don't have to make this roll. But
Yeah,
Phineas needs to make this roll.
Yeah.
They knew.
All right, yeah. Give me an intelligence check.
Oh my god.
Make that one. Make a hard version of that one.
Oh no, my dude.
Oh, that's what I don't want to make.
Yeah. It now washes over Phineas that he now cannot look away from any of the horrors that he's been able to ignore. That he may spend the rest of his life seeing everything that walks by that should be hidden in the darkness, that slinks into the sewer, that hides in the shadow of other men. And he will now know that deeply, forever. Yeah,
That's
so
a
give me
D6.
a D6.
That's a
Oh
6.
no! Yeah, so
He has a long way to fall. It's okay.
Nice.
More than 5.
if you lose more than 5 sanity points, you trigger a temporary bout of madness.
Oh.
Checks out.
Yeah, so you are now not sure if anyone is Fae or not. You can't trust your eyes. So you will have to, every person you meet, until you're able to kind of reassure yourself, you're gonna need to like very carefully and closely examine every person to make sure that you're sure your eyes are what you're telling you.
Do I trust present company?
Yes, I would say currently. But yeah, there's like for the next bit, you're gonna feel very shaky.
Cool.
Yeah. Some of these books could be Fae. You don't know what a Fae looks like.
Some of these books are Fae. That was
It could be a real
Check
Fae.
out part 3. It was established.
Yeah, it's like there could be fairies hiding in these books. You don't know.
I certainly will once I've checked every page of every book, and I'm so sorry. You'll have to excuse me. This is I have to do this.
Mr. Wheel, we don't have time for this. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to make time for this. You can do what you must. You're like be in a corner checking things.
Prendergast is like, can we?
You have helped so much already. I would feel bad to ask you to help any more than you already have.
I'll go help.
Yeah,
Make sure to check every page.
Maybe just let him in easy, I suppose. He's under a lot of stress, it seems.
This enormous patchwork meat of man and like lizard skin just kind of walks over. She's like, is there anything I can do?
Mr. Prendergast, I mean this in the kindest possible way. I would appreciate not having your hand. Can I trust that is indeed a hand?
Sooner or later. Sooner or later. I understand. It's okay. Understand. Just go stands in a corner. Like, he gets, like, the farthest he can and is tiny.
Okay. Sidebar?
Absolutely. The way I see it, we're not getting to Harrison anytime soon. But if we can get to Park and figure out what he wants and maybe make some sort of deal, we could get somewhere.
I check my little pocket watch. What time is it?
It's like 10-ish. So you've got maybe enough time to do a ritual and then dash over, but not a lot more time.
Well, the way I see it, we can either do a ritual here and try to read his cards to see what his plan is, but that's not going to be very specific and it won't give us a deal.
Right.
We could run back to my place and set up a trap.
Trap? You can trap Faye? Is that right? Is that the way? Okay.
Right.
You can trap Faye.
Uh-huh.
In your shop.
Well, conceivably anywhere if you had the right tools. And then if we did that and promised to let him free if he did something for us, there's like a 50-50 shot that wouldn't totally screw us.
And if we made him promise that he would do something for us, or he wouldn't, let's say, kill 100,000 people, what are the chances he'd be good for it?
100%. That's how these guys work. They absolutely have to keep their word unless you let them sort of wiggle their way out of it. It's a lot of like lawyer talk. You understand how specific sometimes you have to be when you're writing so you don't get like sued and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like that. But you gotta think real fast.
I see. Kind of looks over at Prendergast. Do we have some sort of... Am I beholden to you?
Well, we signed an employment contract, which you would be beholden to.
So you don't own my soul or whatever.
Would you like... Is it up for offer?
No.
No.
Then no.
Okay, great. All right. I think that might be our best course of action then.
I can't emphasize this enough. It would be incredibly dangerous.
Okay.
Doing something dangerous?
I mean, you've gone up against people like Mr. Parks before, right? I can't believe I'm asking.
Killed an evil wizard once. No big.
Give me an intelligence check to remember if the events that you and Spitz have encountered.
That's a fail.
91. God, you don't even know who everyone could be, Faye.
No big.
How coherent? Like, can I take part in this conversation, or am I kind of cooked in a corner?
I think unless someone, you need to be brought into the conversation.
Yeah.
So right now
Cool.
you're in a temporary insanity. So
Sounds good.
you're
Phineas, do you... Spitz keeps talking about a evil wizard. Do you know what this means?
It could potentially be a warlock or a wizard or a male witch.
Okay.
He ran the train and his feet were on backwards. So I put my wrenches around them and I turned them the right way around.
And the
that
result
seemed
of that
helpful.
was what?
Well, they kind of came off and melted.
That seems promising.
And she's like trying to work through it with what little information she has. She's like running through the bestiary, like.
I think
on backwards.
that. Give me an occult check for that.
24 pass.
Yeah, you know who the creature that Spitz is trying to describe.
Okay, so like, you hang on. Are you trying to tell? So you're like what, 9? You met a Selkie and you killed it?
So I met an evil wizard whose feet were on backwards.
Phineas, can you corroborate this at all?
Corroboration is a little beyond my faculties at this moment.
All right.
Spitz did, in fact, we were on a train, and now we're not on a train. I don't know if it's murder, if it's not a person. I don't know what a person is anymore, but I don't think
Spitz
that
did
was
kill-
one. And if
Spitz
it
killed
was one,
something.
then Spitz may have committed that sort of crime, but I don't think it was, so I don't think it was.
Okay.
Are you going to help me with this?
I think
They could be everywhere. They have been everywhere. They were on the train. They were in New York. They're here. No, I'm so sorry. I don't know if...
I've just been in my corner this whole time, Mr. Wheel.
Is that a no?
I think we have some bigger fish to fry. We do understand that they're here, they're around, and now it's our job to...
That feels like
Deal
a
with that
fish
fact.
of sizable size. They are here and also around.
Yes, but they're also... I don't know if I
To
want to
be
say
fair
this.
to some of us, we have been trying to tell you for 48 hours.
Yeah,
Or 24 on the short end. So I'm very sorry that I'm not being as sympathetic as I could possibly be. Your compatriot killed a Kelpie. He's 9.
I find it hard to be grateful for your efforts to make me understand this world.
All right. Would you prefer staying here and trying to...
I would
work
not prefer
through-
staying here. No, I would
Okay,
rather not be here
your
at all.
other option is to come with us to possibly mate another one of these fae.
Also, no.
Are you sure?
I-
Because you,
You know who
are so
I
particular?
liked? You know who I liked? Those women. They were on a bench. They weren't
Definitely.
in a hurry. They were fine.
Don't look at them on your way
They-
back.
I think maybe it'd be okay if I just went back. I think they had so much to tell me, and maybe I'm ready to listen now. Maybe?
Maybe do it with your eyes closed.
That feels
I would
counter to
listen
the
to
point.
Mara.
but
Okay.
Peridus takes the shawl from Jimmy and like puts it over his head.
From Jimmy.
from Spitz and puts it over his head.
Spitz reaches into a pocket, pulls out a handkerchief, and kind of just like wraps it up and puts it around Phineas's eyes.
I'm not gonna resist at this point.
Is that better?
I-
Is that good for you?
It is.
All right.
As much as I hate this idea, and I'm gonna hate it when I say it out loud. So please don't judge me. I don't like the idea of bringing Spitz with us to the shop as some sort of bait, but
I also don't like using the child as bait.
I
I'm
don't
glad
love
that
that.
that has remained
Ain't
a
nobody's bait.
solid foundation in our world.
I think, however, with this new information that I've received about your weekend, you'd be more of an ace in the hole than bait. More of a poisonous frog situation. Basically, you might have a better chance at kicking this guy's ass than I do.
Just respectfully, I'm not sure we should have the child try to kill Mr. Parks.
I'm not gonna have him try. I just think if my options are leave him here or take him with us, I'd kind of rather like him and
There
his
is
little
no
wrench to be
greater
there.
weapon in the world than a wrench.
I would roll over like a wet dog. This is true.
counter proposal.
This is the
Just
first time
spitballing
anyone has
or-
ever agreed with Spitz's assessments of wrenches.
Oh, Mr. Prendergast thinks your wrenches are very dangerous.
Yeah.
They are the most dangerous
I
things in this room.
understand that, but this is unprecedented for Spitz.
Counter proposal, just spitballing or spit-eyeing as the case may be. Spitz and I could go visit the women, and they could tell us, and then I would be safe from Mr. Parks, and Spitz would also be safe from Mr. Parks, and we would both be safe because we'd be with the women, and everything was okay when we were with the women, and they had knitting, and they could tell us so much, and maybe if they said it, it would make sense, because right now you are saying it, and it does not make sense, and I would like it to, so maybe we could just go do that, and you could go do whatever it is you need to do with the big scary one, and then you could just let us know when it's all good.
I really don't like the idea of leaving Spitz with only you when
Yeah.
Parks is definitely not the only guy who's looking for that kid.
There are more of them.
He's an incredibly powerful person. He probably has humans in his employ.
That's comforting, actually. Tell me more about the humans.
So did you see the two guys outside this morning?
Yes.
One of them was Parks.
One of them!
The other one was his human envoy. Faye can't exactly, at least as far as I can surmise, enter a location without being invited. That's why he couldn't come inside. But his partner could have muscled his way inside and invited him inside. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They keep humans around, like me, to do their dirty work. To deliver cans to the cold storage.
You delivered cans to the cold storage?
Don't worry about it.
They abide by rules. They
They
have,
have very,
rules.
very strict rules. Is this bringing him down at all? Like, the
Egress
idea...
requires permission.
Egress requires explicit permission.
And we can be in a place and they can't be in the place unless we explicitly allow them egress.
Yes, but you're not gonna like this next part. I did invite him in, but at 11.
And it is...
Getting there.
10:15.
And you want us to go there, now.
Correct. Now, more rules. We love rules, especially
Like
when
rules.
people absolutely have to abide by those rules, otherwise the universe tears them asunder. Don't we love that? Isn't that incredibly
the universe and the
comforting?
tearing asunder, concepts I've become intimately acquainted with in the past few hours, and particularly in the past few moments. Yes, please, I would love to hear more about the universe and the tearing asunder.
Of our enemies. In
Them
particular.
too?
No, we don't have to abide by these rules. Only if we make a deal with them do we have to abide by these rules, because we're people and they're not. Humans and they're not. I'm so sorry, Mr. Prendergast. That was very insensitive of me.
A little. Yeah.
I've become very jaded of this whole process over the last few months. It hasn't been very comforting to me.
It's okay.
Rather than going and seeing the women, Spitz and I should accompany you to your meeting with Mr. Parks.
If you
Correct.
think you can manage it.
Particularly because, as I'm not sure if you've gathered, they can't touch iron or cross a salt line. And if we were to do those things in my shop, he would be trapped. And if we were to release him from this trap, that would be doing him a favor, and he would owe us one in return. Did you need more sentence, or are you good?
Plenty of sentences. I think I needed less sentences, actually.
How-
I think I've received at least enough sentences.
The major drawback here that I cannot emphasize enough is that he is
Must you emphasize?
incredibly powerful, and I'm not 100% sure of the extent of that power, or if I am a match for it. But understanding that your young friend murdered an extremely powerful fae and doesn't seem fazed by it, I'm slightly more comforted if we had them in our presence.
We're safe because of the child.
I
In this
also
moment, yes.
don't like saying it, but yes.
I do.
I've been saying it for years. Everybody should invest in a wrench.
They
They're kind of right,
do make
apparently.
me feel safe. Okay.
Spitz, would you like to join us in trapping and potentially angering an extremely powerful evil wizard.
Please do know you have a right not to be coerced into any agreements that you don't. Sorry, force of habit.
No matter how deep Phineas is into the madness. Yeah, Pendergast says, you're not safe here, just for the record. No safety in this office. None, there's nothing.
I
Wet
do not
paper
feel
bag.
safe here.
Good! Sorry, I'll go back to the corner now.
Knowing that lack of safety, I would like to be in a lack of this room.
Great. So it
So
seems
you'd rather be at the shop?
Where the salt and the iron and the spits are.
You still have my bag?
Yes, you'd still have.
Let's go.
I'll look around the room. I think it made it into this room and then I've lost all track of it.
Yeah, the bag is in the room.
Mhm.
If it's alright, I would rather not look at it because I don't trust what I might see in
That's
there.
fine. I take the bag back. Mr. Prendergast, may I borrow some selections from your library?
Please bring them back if you can.
Is like a due date on that, or?
But just if you can't, just don't tell anyone I gave them to you.
Sounds good to me.
Have at it.
I take as many books that will fit in my little satchel as
Yeah.
possible, and vamos,
well,
as they
back to the
say.
shop.
As you're walking out, Prendergast takes the shawl and gives it back to Spitz and says, sorry, just, and it's you have to squeeze past him no matter what you do. But yeah, so he just says, good luck not dying. If you manage to not die and get something useful out of it, we should figure out what to do with the mayor after that, because this problem doesn't exactly go away, and Mr. Parks definitely has other associations who will step up and take his place if there's not a solid...
We're not gonna kill him.
Oh, okay. That's...
I mean, we might.
Okay. Good luck. No one's... people have tried before and definitely failed, screaming. So...
Incredibly encouraging. Thanks for the pep talk, bud. All right, let's go.
No one tells me things.
Spitz is excited. They've basically just been employed as a monster hunter. Spitz is really feeling themselves right now.
Spitz, you get a moment, you get a sense of a possible future. You've not often considered what happens when you have to be an adult.
Yeah. This seems like this could be a vibe.
Who's to say? Alright, so you all are heading in the direction of the shop. Phineas, do you still have the blindfold around your eyes?
No, that didn't last. Yeah, no, not. Seeing only what my mind can conjure was worse images, so that didn't last long.
Go for it.
Are we passing the women?
No, the women are up here.
From when we
'Cause
went
they're,
to see
in the
Yes,
fair,
they're
yeah.
in the fair, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're just on a bench, popcorn
Cool.
in hand, but they're knitting, but it's the same thing for old women, right? Yeah, totally. All old women. So as you're walking, most people are dressed in coats, and there's a very large population of humans, so it's not that every person is a fae, but every time you go a decent amount of street and you see people, one person looks out underneath the brim of their hat with slitted yellow eyes. You see a tail disappear underneath a long trench coat. You see the women doing laundry, and one of them, very pale and ghostly, just looks a little bit too long in your direction as she sees you noticing her.
Do a good deal of grasping Spitz the way a child grasps a parent, but a little reversal of that situational role.
It's the fae are all around, definitely.
And I'll the second or third time this happens, I'll point out to Spitz, do you see that woman there? Over there doing the
Are
washing.
you looking through the nickel?
How many do you see? No, just how many do you see there, Spitz?
How many women do I see?
If you're not looking through your nickel, you see 4. If you're looking through your nickel, you see 5.
Yeah, alright.
the right number. Thank you.
He's not put together the nickel thing yet.
Also, can I just
yeah.
Emily made a roll a little while ago about the
Yeah.
history of Chicago in relation to a
absolutely.
bird, and we never resolved.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
she was doing just like a history of Chicago, right?
Yes, absolutely. So piecing some things together. Hey, Spitz, could I borrow that for a minute? Thank you. Phineas, you said those old woman gave this to you, right?
Indeed.
Huh. And you said it was a firebird,
Yes.
like a phoenix.
Yes.
I see. It's just it's interesting. It's all is Chicago burned down about 20 years ago, almost to ashes, and for some reason they're giving these out right now. Of all times, when they had a giant fire just yesterday.
It does. I mean, in candor, it doesn't strike me as the most odd thing about the circumstances of the past few hours.
Right.
But
20
sure, I
20
suppose it
years
might
is
not
like-
have been in incredibly good taste.
20 years is like a whole century.
Was your insight roll a hard pass?
No, just
Just regular pass.
regular.
Um,
Or more like a generation. This mayor's been mayor 5 times, almost the same amount of time. And what does Park want to do but burn this whole thing to the ground? It seems like an omen is all. Like it means something more.
Ken, can you give me an occult roll?
Fail.
Fail. Yeah. It does sure seem like an omen. Like the women were trying to tell you something.
Do you know anything else about those women? The ones on the bench?
Best guess? I mean, I'd have to check the books. Or should I make an insight?
That was your occult roll.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
not to see what this was, but what they were.
if you want to investigate more about the old women, like you could pull out a book that you're reading.
Yeah.
Make another occult roll.
Are we back at the shop now?
You're almost there. Yeah.
Also fail.
Also fail.
Hmm.
But there's something there.
Spicy.
You know that the aura of power around them wasn't. They weren't just some other fae. This was beyond even what Mr. Parks was giving off.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever it wasn't just random. You know that omens of fortune are never general. They are always specific, especially when the fae. If the fae are handing out omens, it's not because they're handing them out to everyone else. It's because they're handing it out to Phineas.
And them
Or
saying
to-
his name, surely.
Or at the very least to the party, to the group of you standing there. Maybe they weren't being entirely truthful that they're handing it out to everyone. Or maybe they were, just not all of them had that picture on it.
It seems pointed and intentional, but as for what it means or who they are, I have no idea. I'll have to keep looking. Maybe Mr. Prendergast's books have something that I can find.
Mm-hmm.
He... Best guess, I mean, they're old women and they have string. Best guess is fates, but that's Greek. Like, I don't
Go
know.
ask them.
I did like them. They seemed kind. They seemed like they knew more than us and weren't scared of it. And I don't know how those two things can coincide because I know less than us and I am scared. But I liked them.
I don't know much about fate, but fate doesn't seem kind to me. Not by nature, at least.
This seems hopeful.
I mean, it's yeah.
This seems hopeful.
Yeah, it's you get the sense that it appears initially as a bird of peace, as a dove, and then only when you combine the two images is the truth fully revealed. Almost like it is by design.
If you want to go talk to them,
I do.
Yeah,
And
you're
meet
arriving
back
at the
up-
store right now.
yeah, and meet back up with us here later, maybe that will get us some answers. Just, you might not like what you see when you get there. Don't agree to anything. Their word is bond.
Their word is bond. A contract. I understand that. I understand contract. It's good. I
And so
like that.
if you want to make a contract with them, you can, but understand that it could mean anything that those words mean. There's a lot of, like, doublespeak can be used. It's very complicated.
I'm scared. What time is it?
Should I go with him?
You've got like maybe 40 minutes, half an hour to get a trap together.
Yeah.
I think I will stay, and after we meet with Mr. Parks, if we can go see them, that would... I think I could find some answers there.
Okay. I appreciate you staying.
Yeah. Spitz, does that fort still exist?
I didn't take it down. No sense taking down a good fort just to get to put it back up again.
Would you mind? I'm gonna go find a little fort corner.
Take your poker.
My poker stayed in the fort.
Is Spitz also in the fort, or is Spitz? Yeah, of course. Spitz in the fort. Right. As they are in blanketed, what are you guys up to when you arrive?
I'm gonna set up...
The note's been torn down off the door. So, message has been received.
I would like to set up the same trap that I did the night of Jimmy, potentially with any improvements that I might have learned since then.
Okay.
But with the intention of inviting him through the correct door.
Sure. Okay, incredible. So, this
like
is
under the circle table in the middle.
Yeah, gotcha.
From inside the fort. It strikes me. What did you say on your note?
That he could come in at 11.
The note specified 11?
Yes.
Okay.
We made sure of that, don't worry.
But I also specified 11 to him verbally, so even if the note said otherwise, he's gonna be able to get in at 11. The shop opens then anyway.
No further concerns from the fort.
Yes,
Fort
so...
was concerned for a second that it wasn't an empty fort.
You just hear a little voice from the blankets.
It's just Spitz.
What, does Spitz say anything? You just...
Ooh.
Yes, so we're gonna treat this as just a mythos roll, so because you're not doing a specific spell that you have, and your intent, so you know a little bit about what magic takes. Are you intending to put magic behind this? Okay, so this would be, you need to pass an intelligence check, to have this go through, and then you need to pass a mythos check, and it will cost you 1d4 magic points and then 1d3 sanity points.
Miss Moore, how can I help you?
Yeah, it will cost you 4 magic points just straight off, and then 1d3 sanity points.
I'm here to help. Put me to work.
Can Spitz help? Spitz wants to do magic spells.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can help. Let me see how you can help. What would you do to help?
Like, I don't know, anything that's like, just like little tasks, like that. It's like, we need to set out all of these things in this order, and it's like those little toys for kids where it's like, sort these things and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say that the belief of a child, especially one who has seen as much as Spitz has, is particularly powerful, and definitely would give you bonus on your occult, your mythos rolls. I know you trying to help, or the research maybe.
Yeah. Like if we divvy up the books and like, this is where I found this spell earlier, like blah blah blah, like help me set it up. Would she give me advantage on my intelligence roll?
I'm gonna say that I think Marion is much better at research than you are.
I know how to find answers. Set me up with some books. I can find you whatever you need.
Take all the books out of my bag and lay them on the thing.
Would this be library use?
Yeah.
Is this actually library
I think
use?
this is library use,
Hell
yeah.
Huge.
Let's see if you can help with the spells.
Great. I don't actually have a ton of points in this, but you never know.
Ooh.
I'm gonna push it.
You're gonna push it?
This is 60.
Yeah. I mean, this will make the spell go out to the last minute. If you push it, like, it's gonna take you a bit longer to research it, but...
Okay, that's fine. Let's push it. Big fail.
Yeah.
89.
There's a lot of books and you don't really know anything about this world.
Cool.
91.
91. Okay, so you could push this intelligence check, but if you fail it, you might end up basically botching the spell.
If I'm not like doing super well on like searching through the books, but I'm still like helping her. So can I still give her advantage?
Well, am I not giving her advantage?
You're giving her advantage on the
Mythos check.
mythos check. This
Which
is
is
just a
next.
straight, is she doing the right spell
Got it.
check? Which is,
Can
yeah.
I take a? Do these books look different when I enter the room?
Yes.
Do I see different? Oh, I see different things.
Yeah, I mean, they're swimming with magic. Some of them, at least.
He's
But not all
seeing
of
different
them.
things than she would see him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I will not leave my fort. But if I see either of them like handling a book that is not magic, like a dud book, and I can see based on Prender's spit what dud books are, I'll make some Phineas noises with much conjecture, but to the effect of I wouldn't surmise that I could ascertain any more than, of course, this is your shop and your books, but I don't think that might be the book. And as much as, believe me, I'm in favor of communal civic duty, and I really wish I could be out there and help, but the book to your left is scarier to me in light of the things that I can now see. And while I certainly don't want to be touching it, it seems to me that for your purposes, perhaps it would be of more utility than the current book, which is dull as a phone book.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Slink back in
Mr.
my fort.
No.
Wait. Phineas, how does this one look?
It's just a book.
This one?
Just a book.
This one.
Please make it go away.
Listen,
Spitz, do you have that poker?
you must read a lot of manuals, right?
There was a time. Now I don't read much of anything. Now I sit in my fort with my poker.
Right. Well, make yourself useful. Here you go. I just bring a stack of books over to him.
These are only about as scary as manuals are. The manual
This is my fort. You must have consent to gain egress, and I do not give those books the right to gain egress
Spitz
to
picks up
my
one of the
fort.
books, sits down next to Phineas, lays it open, and fully. Again, Spitz cannot read. Is doing that kid thing where they're like pretending that they can read, even though it's like,
Spitz flips a page and something with just teeth. Just like, it's just all teeth. The page is just teeth.
Poker.
Phineas, we're looking for a
No, that's an attack roll. How do I do that? I'm poker in that book.
Give me a strength check. If you're just attempting to, just a strength check.
That's a pass. That's a hard pass.
That's a 15.
A hard pass. All right, this is a Fae book. I think it's gonna try to fight back.
Oh god.
So this would have to.
It is 10:53.
Oh yeah, no, this does not succeed. Yeah.
Them be fighting words. They're words and they're only fighting.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you drive down on this book, and the poker leaves a blasted hole straight through the center of the book, and the book just gives out a.
Not that one anymore.
Thanks. Really just looking for any sort of diagram on on Fae traps.
Nothing that should hurt you.
Surely that is within your faculties.
I regret to inform you, I think that might have been a Fae trap in the past tense, or minimally a trap for humans set by Faes, which I think is the converse of what we're looking for now. But the point stands that
So pick
traps,
up another
Fae,
book.
or otherwise, are a little beyond my current faculties to ascertain, and I would rather they not coexist with me in my fort.
Spitz pulls the poker out of the book and is like, not half bad.
Yeah, so this is enough to get you on the right track, so I think
Vagabondry
you can
101.
re-roll your intelligence check.
Just the D10, right?
Yeah.
Or the 10th place. I'm rolling intelligence?
Mhm.
Oh, that passes easy then.
Okay.
We got there.
It would also pass occult, but less easily.
Was it a hard pass or just a regular pass?
It was just regular.
Okay.
It's a couple away. I can
spend
I
luck-
can
spend some luck
burn the luck
points.
points.
Yes. Yeah, so technically it would need to be a hard pass to
Then
finish
let's-
it.
Yeah, do it.
Borrowing a
do it.
pencil.
Yep.
If that's all right. Which means I need to burn 4.
Yeah.
So I'm at 66 luck points.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you, between, Jimmy, when you first trapped Jimmy sent, kind of as a joke, before maybe he realized this wasn't such a good idea, sent a couple of, here's how you actually do this. And that combined with a couple of books from Pendergast's library has sort of like filled in the blanks for you there. So you feel like this is at least a decent diagram of the trap, right? Like you were in the right place. And now you have to imbue it with power. Okay. You sit down, reach out to the universe, and prepare to exert your will upon this working.
And you have advantage because I'm helping you.
55.
Okay.
That does not pass. I have a 33.
Oh,
45. That does not
On
pass.
occult? On occult?
For, no, Cthulhu Mythos.
Mm-hmm. You're trying to do a spell that you don't have.
I cannot burn.
I don't believe you can burn luck points on this. You can push this roll, and you will automatically succeed. But
Like the idea of that.
but it will exert a toll upon you. There are bad consequences for failing a pushed roll.
But I automatically succeed.
So
So it's okay.
So the spell will succeed, but
Oh.
the sorcery cost upon you, you will have to spend the same magic points, the same sanity cost, and roll a d3 for sanity as well. And then subtract 4 magic points from your
I'm
current
assuming
magic
it's
points
just
Or
total.
the D6 cut in half, right?
Did I say d3? Yes. Yeah. Even or odds.
4?
It's 2.
2?
yeah.
2? Yes.
Okay, so that's my sanity.
Mm-hmm. And then 4 magic points. Cool. So yes, so you can push this roll, but something bad will happen to you if you fail. But regardless, the trap will be set.
It's a 1 in 3 chance.
And you still get advantage from Spitz. Spitz, like, really just... I mean, the belief in this room is stalwart, terrified, rational, and however you're feeling about it.
But this side
Worried.
of the table has belief.
Paranoid.
Yep.
Spitz
There's
is doing
belief
salt
here.
circles. It's
Yeah.
grown up approved making a mess. Like,
Mhm.
It is. Those look great, kid. Make sure to get on the windowsills and by the back door there.
You three give me a spot hidden. I'm assuming Phineas is still...
I am spotting no hiddens.
Ooh, I pass. I fail.
Oh no. You can roll this as well
okay.
if you want.
It's not often I fail a spot.
This is
hidden.
less than a 33. It's my Mythos roll.
what is it?
Can it be my Mythos roll, please?
What is it?
What is it?
It's a 1.
It's a loon.
Well,
Show map cam. Show map cam.
If you can narrate to me how, by looking out the window, you cast this spell, then I will let you do that. As you're looking out the window, you
I didn't know I was looking out the window.
Okay.
I thought I was watching Spitz and put salt on the ground.
Great. If you can narrate to me how that triggers you to complete the spell. Spitz, you see as you're spilling the salt by the window, so the sun is fully on Boston Brady's workshop or storefront, but the opposite side of the street is now in shadow. and you can see on the opposite side the tall, kind of twitchy fellow whose name was Will, kind of in the shadows cast by some of the lampposts, just kind of standing there now, observing the shop.
Can I roll intelligence to see if I recognize?
Oh, you
what
recognize
he
him.
is?
Oh yeah, yeah. Are you looking through your coin?
Oh yeah. I'll just look. I'll just look through the coin at him.
Oh yeah, he's actually not scary looking when you first take a glimpse. It's kind of looks like he's just in kind of like a purplish flame made kind of manifest. But as you're looking more and more deeply, it just seems like there's a pit of darkness right at the center. The same way that if you're walking along a beach and you step into quicksand, or if you're walking alone in the night and you fall into a hole, that sense of that depth in your stomach, that like sense of plunging unexpectedly, that grows stronger and stronger the more you look at the center of him.
I think the only thing that, like, at some point, Spitz gets so deep into the hole that he drops the coin, and that's just like jerks them out of it. Like, shit, salt.
Yeah. So you're seeing Spitz drops the coin, and the startledness of that. A lot of magic is an act of pure will, and so you see Spitz, you see the will-o-wisp looking straight at Spitz, and the sound of the coin startles you enough that you just put all of your desire to not have Spitz be taken and not have your livelihood wrecked just directly into the circle. And as Marianne is standing there, it just blazes with light, and you kind of jump out of the way. And the circle subsides, kind of gently, no longer lit up, but gently pulsating with power.
I can, like, feel it in my skin. My nose is tingling.
So, did it work?
Well, it didn't do that last time.
Give me a sanity roll, and did you roll your second sanity?
My second sanity?
Because you cast it again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't, but do you want this, or both?
Sorry, so this is just your sanity cost for points.
Is it rounding up or down?
That would be a what?
Wait.
1, 2.
That's
a
D3.
2, right?
So we're doing rolling the D6 and then dividing it by 2.
No, that's a 3.
That's a
because
3?
1 and 2 is 1, 3 and 4 is 2, 5 and 6 is
3.
3.
Okay.
Okay.
You are 1 sanity point away from
Joining me in the tent.
loss. Yeah, joining.
Speaking of which, yeah, I'll do a little peek out of the guy and look at this. Did it make a noise when it, like, activated?
It didn't make a noise, but you would feel heat. It felt more like a sunbeam, but like a supernova powered sunbeam dancing across the floor.
I guess we'll take a very safe peek out of the fort at the circle.
It feels like a sun, like it feels like lightning being shown directly into your eyes, but lightning of like safety. So it's really confusing, but doesn't feel bad. Not a lot has not felt bad recently. But you should immediately look away from this.
Yes, no, I do, but the odds that I leave this fort at any time got a little bit higher.
Someone lurking about outside.
Yeah, like the sense of safety of this, like you've just been like basically mentally bludgeoned over the head with the sense of safety. So that definitely, I think, knocks you out of your temporary madness. Although it would not take much, because everything you look at pretty much would make you want to curl up again.
Yeah.
But I think you're out of your immediate desire, your immediate temporary madness.
Spitz, what did you just say?
There's someone lurking about outside.
Can I check that?
Yeah. Give me a sanity check.
Okay. Should I make a sanity one for the light too?
No, I don't think so. I think now that you guys are awakened to the world of the Fae, just seeing that the Fae exist, I think isn't enough to trigger a sanity roll.
Sure.
It's just you've seen a Fae. Are they then actually horrifying? So the will-o'-wisp, to see into a being whose desire nothing more than to find the lost, scared, and confused, and to make their life worse, that is a darkness there. So looking into that, absolutely sanity check. looking into a trap. You just see power.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. He passed.
I passed though.
Wow, you feel really
I've
safe
seen
in
worse.
this.
as far as spooky things I've seen today go, Wispy Boy isn't even like top 5.
Prendergast feels a little more sad somewhere, just somehow.
I tried so hard to be nice about it and then just immediately abandoned that.
It's okay. He knows what he looks like.
That doesn't make it better.
Spitz is just kind of standing at the window, like peeking over the sill. He's creeping. I don't like it.
He was not invited in. Okay. Quick rally.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm rallied. I'm here.
For real?
Confirmation is difficult for me.
Okay. I see. When he's here, I'm gonna tell his fortune. Y'all can go in my bedroom, hide behind the counter, do whatever you need to do.
The element of surprise.
The element of surprise.
I should be
Spitz is gonna hide
here
behind
with
the
you.
counter.
Shadowing you, right?
Oh, right. Yes, shadowing me. That is acceptable. Once he is trapped and we begin dealing with him, Phineas, you may make your appearance and be, and I mean this with my whole chest, be as pedantic as you possibly can.
I can do that.
We are dealing with someone who is abusing contracts with his employees.
Now, I should be candid. My knowledge of contractual codes are really limited to the jurisdiction of New York State. And I won't pretend to know the specific idiosyncrasies of Fey law or of Chicago law while we're here. But assuming that some bridges can be built, I think we can cover...
Literally, yes. In fact, probe all of that. Be as pedantic as possible. If anything seems unclear by Fey law or Chicago law, you should
Or New
probably
York State
clarify.
law.
Yes.
I will, believe me.
With Mr. Parks or
Now?
myself.
Okay, now and also again then.
Possibly. Yes. Less now, more then.
Thank you.
Do you need a Valium or...
Do we have that?
No.
You probably got some chamomile lying around.
Answer remains yes, but...
Yeah, so Spitz is in the back room.
Spitz is behind the counter.
Spitz is behind the counter. Wrench
Oh.
is at the ready.
My rally to Spitz. Follow your gut. Follow your dreams, kid.
Spitz, right before they duck down, pulls the second wrench out of their pocket
Yay! Pocket wrench!
and just kind of disappears behind the counter.
Beautiful.
They are ready.
So you all are arrayed. Are you still in the blanket fort? Or are you?
I'm now behind the counter with Spitz.
Okay, great. I love it. As you guys are squaring up, you hear the tinkle of you hear the clock strike 11, and then immediately you hear the tinkle of your door swinging open, and Mr. Parks, respectfully takes his hat off and says, "Hello, I've come for a reading."
It's so lovely to see you so punctual. Please, take a seat. I gesture to my little reading table with the glass crystal ball on top of it. It has Spitz's grimy little fingerprints all over it.
You can see he kind of takes a look around and just says, "Yes, of course. I would be delighted." And he takes a handkerchief out and kind of just rubs the crystal ball a little bit and leans his cane up against the seat.
I sit. Mr. Park, I don't imagine you want all the bells and whistles that I put on for the regular folk, but if you do, just let me know. I'm quite the performer.
I think whatever experience you wish to give me, I would be delighted to receive, of course.
I would much rather give you an accurate, honest reading than some mumbo-jumbo
Are you
meant
gonna
to
read
appeal.
Mr. Parks for filth? Is that what's gonna happen? He says, of course, I know you appreciate that I'm a busy person and that I've got much to do, but I am happy to, extend an offer of continued protection, and then perhaps of employment toward, and he looks directly at the counter, towards your young protege? Your young charge. I offer adventure beyond wildest imagination in exchange for just a little assistance.
The assistance isn't the reading, is it?
No, that would be for young person spits. I'm given to understand that is what they go by.
Correct.
Amazing. No, this would offer of employment for young spits, and it has come to my recent attention that perhaps Jimmy hasn't been doing everything that's been asked of him, and has been instead passing it through a middleman, and you've been doing such an exemplary job. And we just have a little, few more deliveries to make, a little more business to conclude. And I can't imagine you wouldn't want to help at least a little. You've been so helpful to the community in the past.
Can I roll a psychology check?
Yeah, sure. Cool.
Put your energy on the card, sir. While she's doing that.
Okay, we make that. Just a regular one.
A regular. What are you trying to find out?
Just like maybe more specifically what he means about like this employment contract, or like this continued like offer of protection that he mentioned.
You think the offer of protection is just generally, Mora was doing really useful work, and like specifically that she got the basket not just to the cold storage but into the cold storage. Like,
technically.
They only know cause and effect. So he just knows that it was very effective. And you get the sense that he's just not used to people telling him no, and he's more just taking it personally that she's not immediately doing what? Like, not immediately saying, oh, of course, Mr. Parks, I will take your baskets wherever you want. So it's not so much that Mora has anything specifically, it's just that he does not like to be told no. And he thinks that she's going to acquiesce. And then for Spitz, it's a little more unclear, but I think it's a little bit more of the same. Like, you kind of have an idea. You think, you don't see anything to suggest that your suspicions are incorrect. Okay. Whether it's just that the Fae like children and Spitz is a particularly Fae-like child, or Spitz will be useful. Maybe a little column A, column B. Cool. As you put the cards down, sort of like looks you right in the eyes, as if he's doing you a favor by agreeing to be read. Sort of just says, take your time.
And narrate anything you need to.
Yeah, so he's just, as you're considering these cards, are you, you're casting out to the universe, and there's a lot of energy going around, so you get a sense that maybe you might get a little more of an answer than you normally do. So you're looking at his past card, the Emperor Inverted.
Ineffectiveness, immaturity, and a lack of strength. I don't think I'm the one reading him first.
Yeah, you get the sense that he has a basic understanding of this. He says, well, we were all young once.
I didn't say that out loud, correct?
No. I mean, did you? Did you say that out loud?
I don't think so.
Okay. No.
I'm just wondering how I'm going to play this. Okay.
Talk to me about what you found, and then we'll go from there. Like, what do you think these mean?
So,
and then we'll figure out what we want to say to him.
Ineffectiveness, immaturity, lack of strength.
Mm-hmm.
That says to Mora that he has come from a position that he did not have a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
And if she wanted to, and that from her perspective, he is lashing out violently because it makes him feel powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But she might say, and if to flatter him, that you've come from a position of great strife, and yet you've built this great empire upon it. You've built up all this power from your own sheer will. Like, she might like stroke his ego a little bit there. And then the star is
I love these
at
tarot cards so much.
17.
Chicago World's Fair. The peak of American exceptionalism.
Hope,
The
dreams,
American
faith,
dream.
unexpected help, promising opportunity. She might spin this as, this is your present that fate has brought you to me and me to you, and our young friend Spitz as well, and that the three of us, like, very much in like putting herself at the middle of it, like trying not to put Spitz in it, but like saying that we can help each other in this moment, that this has presented itself as an opportunity, a very promising opportunity to fulfill our dreams using each other as, you know, the unexpected help that we have become to one another. And then the Hermit, interesting. Wisdom sought, knowledge, divine inspiration, counsel, inner strength. So that she would say that this would resolve in a way, she would probably focus on the word counsel and be like, this, you will end up in this position of power. This, to me, this seems almost as if you would take the mayor's position and make Chicago a place for all of us to live harmoniously, rather than in this place of powerlessness and strife that we have seen in your past, that you would help all of us rise above what our past used to be in this potentially great city.
Yeah, as you're looking at these cards, like, you get the sense that what this is saying and what you might want to say to him are perhaps different.
Yeah.
So the amount of energy that's going around, do you want to make a kind of a luck check to see if you get a full answer from the universe, or just kind of rely on general the energies?
Yeah, I'll make a luck check. Yeah. That she's definitely not doing like the reading. She's not doing a spell. She's pretty tired. 50. I make that.
Yeah. So we'll call what happening here is kind of the Call of Cthulhu mechanism for a kind of an idea roll when you kind of need a little more nudge. This is just much better and more fun. Yeah. So you get a sense of that getting power is corrupting, and so whatever Mr. Parks started out, it feels like he started out young and has been accumulating power over time. First as just not wanting to be weak and pitiful and small, and then because he liked having power over others. At this point, he is now, for better or for worse, a position of guiding authority in his community. And you think about everything that you've talked about. You think about the fires burning down in Chicago, and you think about the fact that Mr. Parks' rise seems to be connected to the rise of Chicago, and you think about the phoenix that Phineas acquired from some mysterious, powerful women, and you're starting to put together that while Mr. Parks is a guiding authority in his community because he's championing things that they need, he is also doing it out of deep self-interest. And that are Spitz and Phineas are looking at Mr. Parks as he comes in? I mean, you're looking.
I did want to try to, like, if there's a crack in the wood or anything that I could, like, look through the coin.
Absolutely.
I think I'm staying pretty solidly behind the counter, at least while they're talking. Once the cards are out, that's when I'll feel safe to, like, try to take a peek up above the counter.
Okay. So as you're putting down these cards, you two take a look, both with your, I'm assuming with your coin, and
he doesn't need it anymore.
You don't need it anymore. You are forced, whether or not.
I got that LASIK.
your eyes have been opened, whether you wished it or not. Yeah. So you look, and it is the same kind of blinding light as you saw from the production circle, but it is the light of both the sun and of fire. You can see fire trailing over Mr. Parks, much like feathers, and you're realizing he is a phoenix. And a phoenix is about joy and rebirth and renewal, but something does have to burn down. And if no one says that rebirth has to be kind or good or necessary, and that
maybe the fires of Chicago would have happened with or without a phoenix, but someone has definitely taken advantage of the scale and complexity of a sacrifice that can be made. And you're looking at the fires happening now, and you're wondering, is this a cycle? Is this deliberate? Is this history repeating itself? Whatever it is, Mr. Parks is at the center of it, and he is benefiting from it. And when you look into the future, it is kind of muddled and unclear. You don't know what wisdom of the future is guiding you, but you know that there is hope for Mr. Parks, but it feels more like that he must be rebuffed, but that there is wisdom in his story. It is kind of a muddled point there, but because you know that the anger that has driven people to support him is pure and valid, and that you yourself kind of feel that burning down the fair is not a terrible idea, and you wonder how to resolve those two things.
And that's your fortune, Mr. Barnes.
Yes, I see the cards. The Emperor. Yes, I mean, I've always considered myself something of a leader. Provide further.
Oh, I assume I said the things that I said I would have said it, like,
Sure.
more flattering
Yes.
to him.
Says, yes, I've always considered myself something of a leader. I did take this as something of an accord between the two of us.
What might an accord between the two of us look like?
I think it would be much the same as you've had for Jimmy. It just the understanding would be that you would be doing this for me.
I think, with all due respect, Mr. Parks, usually a promotion comes with a raise, wouldn't you say?
I think he sort of sits up and says, I think, with all due respect, someone in your position, as an outsider to my community, should stop asking questions and do what you're told.
Pardon me, Mr. Parks. I don't think that's the way to talk to Miss Mara here.
Hello. Yes, the trainee. Are you also interested in entering into a similar arrangement? I'm to take it she's now acquainted with our world, given her lack of confusion into this case.
Yeah, we had orientation earlier today, so...
I'm interested in what you have to say, but I believe that everyone should be aware of what they're signing up for and know the terms of their agreement.
I think, Miss...
What understanding did you have of what Jimmy was, quote-unquote, paying me in return for services rendered?
I didn't inquire. I assumed staying alive and being graciously welcomed into a fantastical world would have been enough for you.
Sir, people can't live on that.
Do you think it's a coincidence that your shop is so well frequented? Being friends to the Fae have their advantages. Advantages which you have so clearly, acquired and could be taken away at any moment.
You can't take away what I've gained from what I've already done. You can stop giving me new things, but you can't take away what I've already acquired.
Just so. Says, indeed. Yes, that's what I mean. We would stop patroning your shop immediately, and I don't know that you would find a similar level of success when every magical door in the city would close against you.
I think you overestimate your power just a smidge, sir.
I think he stands up and he says, I think I do not. Now, if you would prefer your shop, and he sort of, you can see he grows just slightly brighter. There's like and you can feel the heat start to radiate off of him a little bit. Says, if you would prefer your shop to remain open in business and not razed or burned to the ground, I would suggest that you say, yes, Mr. Parks, I will help you, and take the next delivery that drops off on your doorstep to its appointed location.
Where would that be?
It would, of course, be somewhere in the fair, as I'm sure you have already guessed. And don't worry this time. We will make sure that wherever it's taken, it will get exactly to where it needs to be. We just need a modicum of help ferrying it to its locations. And please do not misunderstand me. I am the authority in this town. And he sort of, he stands up to like loom over you. And I resent the implication that that the fact is otherwise. And I bid you good day. And he turns, walks around, runs face first into the force field. And we will take a break from this and come back ready to defeat this evil and or make some difficult choices. This has been a Twice Rolled Tales production of Chicago Fae. Check us out. Everything links in the description. And come back for the next one. Thanks for watching.
Woo!
Woo!
Woo!